Greetings, people, and welcome once again to GhMixMixx. We'll keep it very short and crisp today, okay? I vex. And you know, it's all about that body we call Parliament in Ghana. Let's take a close look at that thing called Parliament in our beloved country Ghana and see what we're doing to ourselves, okay? Certain things have happened which all kind of merge together to form the topic for today's discussion. And it's all around Parliament. First of all, there was this issue where the Ghana police, I applaud the Ghana police brutal. Seriously, every time are they on their case, but this time let me salute the Ghana police, or at least those individuals who had the I was going to say balls, but yeah, who had the iron, you know, to put up that display called the fight against indiscipline, or whatever that thing is called. It's amazing. I doff my hat to you, those, you know, Ghana police, for or at least those people who did that thing, stopping stopping the member of parliament who doofus had the balls to come in like say he's better than somebody, you know.
A lawmaker broke the law in order to get to work early enough to make laws for the rest of Ghanaians.
Hey! Who am I supposed to talk to? Please, let me talk to you. We are arresting the driver, please. It's the driver we are arresting. We are not arresting him. I am directing the driver. So, then you can go accompany him to court. So let him to court. Please, I have a parliamentary section at 8 o'clock. So you take the necessary action. Yes, we are going to the court. So don't worry. This is our nation, and the nation's interest is paramount. Let me record everything. I am prepared to defend it everywhere because the nation's interest is paramount. So sometimes you should give us concessions to go and do the national assignment. I have always followed the queue. But for today, I have to be in Parliament by 8 o'clock.
Some people say the concessions we give you all the time has been abused over.
No, but because that is why I am showing you my card and saying that give me the concession. I am the right person.
No, because the argument is that you MPs and big men have been abusing this concession.
What do you mean by abuse? What do you mean by abuse? What do you mean by abuse?
Oh, please, don't be doing that, please. Come.
What do you mean by abuse?
That's the notion out there.
What is the notion? What is the abuse?
Please.
What have I abused? Please, I am saying that I have an urgent thing to do in the national interest.
It looks like everybody has an urgent thing to do in national interest.
Who has it again?
All the other drivers.
All the other drivers, higher than a parliamentarian. Well, can you say this in the Congress of US? There. Parliamentarians are supposed to be in the house by 8 o'clock. You are the same people who come. He is not even going anywhere. To every rule there is an exception. Give me your details. I can go to the IGP and I will drive you there. This is a national interest. I'm not for myself. And if you like, by 8 o'clock, go there and ask whether I'm not there. Feel me well. Because I'm serving the national interest. And to every rule, look at the national interest.
I keep saying this thing. I'm really proud of my Ghana people these days. I think Ghanaians are awake. But I think it's a small section of Ghanaians that are awake, you know. I think that this such thing should continue so that people will catch on and really live up, join that fight against the kind of stupidity that we're dealing with in our country. Check this out. Every 4 years or so, some people just pop up and start begging you. Sometimes they bribe you. So they lie to you, they say all kind of things to you to vote them into power. And you vote them into power, thinking, oh, these guys are going to come and serve our interest. Once they get into that parliament over there, no, they think that they have become demigods. So they think they are better than you who voted for them. Oh, you think I'm lying? Listen to what that doofus of a parliamentarian said.
I am saying that I have an urgent thing to do in the national interest.
It looks like everybody has an urgent thing to do in national interest.
Who has it again?
All the other drivers.
All the other drivers, higher than a parliamentarian. Well, can you say this in the Congress of US?
You did there doing this thing, driving recklessly in traffic. And when the police stop you, you have the nerve to tell them, say, whatever, higher than parliament is like I was saying something like it's whatever somebody is doing higher than parliament. Who says parliament is high? Parliament, you are the servants of the people. Okay? Stop raising your shoulders and thumping your chest like that. Wouldn't say overcall parliament at 8 o'clock. You have to be in parliament by 8 o'clock. What does a responsible person do? You set off early enough to get there by 8. If not, if parliament knows that they cannot converge there by 8, why set a meeting for 8 o'clock? After all, what do you people do? You sit down there and you talk. Right? So if it's pressing enough to put it at 8 a.m., you should know that you have to be there before 8 a.m. You don't wait till 10 minutes before 8 and then you start doing all the stupidity, and then when you are caught by the law enforcement agencies, you are like, you have to give us concessions. What concessions? And then when the journalist was like, oh, the other people too have important things to do, it's like, higher than parliament? You think you are high? It's time for us to wake up and look at these people carefully. Okay? The other issue concerning parliament that came up is, obviously, everybody knows, that decision to build another chamber of parliament for themselves. First of all, check this out. The only time NPP and NDC see eye to eye in parliament is when there is some money to be made mutually. When it's time to discuss how much parliamentarians should take home. When it's time to discuss ex gratia and those kind of things. That's the only time these people see eye to eye. Right? And now they want to build another building for themselves. But this time, check this out, this time some members in the minority said, no, this is not the right thing to do.
We are 275 and the space available we've been using. Sometimes you even have ministers joining us, dignitaries, former presidents. They join us when we are having deliberations. And at no point have I seen all the 275 MPs occupying all the seats in the House, except on inauguration day. So I don't think that it is an urgent or it's a priority project for us to undertake now.
I think the timing is wrong. I think there are more pressing things that we ought to look at as a parliament. Now, the public is not looking at this issue as a parliamentary issue. They've taken it as a governmental issue. And I don't think the government wants to be very unpopular with a decision that the Parliamentary Service Board has taken. I belong to the executive. I'm a member of parliament as well. And my position is that I don't think the timing is right. Ghanaians have a lot of pressing needs that they would want us to address.
As a building technologist and a building consultant, I know we can do a remodeling on this current chamber for it to occupy even up to 800 members. I know that can be done. And we don't need to go pump monies into a new chamber at all.
Even though it's my understanding that Haruna Idrisu actually endorsed the thing. Shame on you, Haruna. Shame on you. Did you consult with your people before you endorsed that nonsense? Because if you did, I'm sure people like Ras Mubarak would have told you, say, hey, this is not the right thing to do. I'm sure if you had consulted your people, there are at least a few guys with their heads screwed on in the minority who would have said, say, Haruna, no, this is not the thing to do. How did you come by that decision to endorse this nonsense? With all the perennial flooding that we've never been able to solve, with all the school kids who continue to go to school under trees, and running double track system or whatever, with all the health facilities that we don't have in the rural areas. But Haruna Idrisu said, no, the bomb me past that guy way head there like something, Katie Hammond. Onokra, they mean the Hanokra, Katie Hammond. Did they say parliamentarians cannot sit under trees? I want to use some word on you where if I use on it, my mother will call me and say, my yes, I'm a teteo. You understand? But the one thing I've realized, we say, you people, if we use conventional language on you, nothing is going to change. We need to poke you out of your shells for you to stop the nonsense where you do over there in the parliament that we want to say it. You understand?
You won't have democracy without parliament. And the Speaker, I'm sure the press will take me on this. Parliament won't sit under trees. So, Mr. Speaker, this whole matter, I think, should be brought to the fore. Let it be debated.
Check this out. You have a parliament building, furnished like this, functioning, everything, with all the chairs you imported from China not too long ago, etc., etc. And then you come back and you're like, oh, parliamentarians, we are so important that we cannot sit under trees. As if you are sitting under trees right now. You are not sitting under trees, but they are actual school children who are sitting under trees. There are mothers who have to be carried across the river so that they can go and access healthcare on the other side of the river. There are people whose homes are being flooded year in, year out because government has not been able to solve that simple thing where every year floods come in and ravage the capital city and some other cities these days. And you have nothing to say about that. But what you have to say, what you want to do, is to use the limited resources to build a house, a chamber and city, from cathedral to chamber. Not thinking about the average man and their concerns and their needs. We just want to build something. I don't know for you people, man. I really don't know for you people. But listen, look, the youth are angry. Oh. The youth are seriously angry. Maybe from where you are sitting, you don't see it. But the youth are angry, including youth from your own MPP party. I speak to them. I speak to everybody. So I know what I'm talking about. The youth are very angry. And if you people don't change your ways, something is going to happen in Ghana which will not be good. Nobody's praying for it to come. But it's an inevitable thing that if you press poor people like that, push like that, it's going to spring. And it's not going to be good. And we don't want that. So we have to change our ways. What did I make, Hannah? Because check this out. Archbishop Duncan Williams, in an interview with Paula Domotry some months ago, he said something. I don't know if you guys watched it or if you heard it. If you didn't, I'm going to play it for you and take that into consideration.
There is a wind coming.
Wow.
And it's not 2019. It will begin after 2020 going.
After 2020, there's a wind coming.
There's a wind coming.
Mm-hmm.
The Arab uprising is coming.
Here.
It's coming. It's coming.
By the youth.
It's coming not just to Ghana, West Africa, all over. If we don't do something. Because you see, look at a lot of these youths. They've graduated from school. They are home, no job. Some of them, you go to these car washing places, you see 10 young men who have graduated from university washing one car. And then they have to wait for some hours before another car comes. Some of them live in these kiosks. You know, we have kiosk estates these days.
Yeah.
Opposite the wealthy areas.
Yeah.
And they know the people who live in the community. They went to school, some of their kids. Some of them know the families. They have nothing. Suddenly they go into politics and they have everything. And they drive the best, they fly the best, their children go to school abroad and everything. And they're sitting down there looking at all of this and saying, hey, wow, this thing is interesting. After a while, if we don't give them hope, that's why I'm going back to the schools.
To speak to them.
And I'm engaging the youth again. Because if we don't give them hope and a sense of direction, the most dangerous thing in life is to fight somebody who has nothing to lose.
And he spoke the truth. Because this is the thing. If poor people continue to be so poor and rich people continue to be so rich, they are going to get angered. Especially when they know that they put you over there. It's not like rich people where they already have their own money. These are people where they voted for you. People who some of them were Koshia by 4-way. They just voted for you to go and sit in parliament. And all of a sudden, before they realize, you are wearing suit and telling them, say, higher than parliament, we are high and you are over there. And we won't even build the basic things that you need. But rather, we deserve everything. And you deserve nothing. You only deserve the crumbs after we've eaten. People are angry. People are very angry, and you need to observe. Get off your high horses. Get out of your glass chambers. Get down to the ground. Listen to the average Ghanaians. Watch. And you see how angry people are. We do not want that situation where angry youth will rise up and cause some kind of, what I call it, righteous anger. It's righteous because they voted for you to come and do something for them. They voted for you to come and solve their problems, and you're not solving the problems. And apart from not solving their problems, you're poking your eye in their noses. So they deserve to be angry. People are angry and they deserve to be angry. Politicians are just taking Ghanaians for granted. Politicians are just taking Ghanaians for granted. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But let me sum it all up by going back and bringing it all in again. The policemen who embarked on that project to stop indiscipline, and especially the particular ones who stopped those parliamentarians, the parliamentarian and the other guy who had fixed police lights on his car and all of that, I applaud you, Wati. My dear, money Juma, keep it up. Don't fear nothing. And you know what we should do as citizens? We should get these people's backs. Because you know, the parliament guy, the MP for Kede, useless guy, you know what he said? He said, I can take you to the IGP and whatever. You know what? Let's make sure that nothing happens to these people. Let's keep an eye on it. If anything happens to these policemen, let's release that righteous anger. Because these are the people who are doing the right thing for the country. And then these people are trying to put spokes in their wheels, threatening him basically that I can take you to the IGP. Screw you. Who the hell do you think you are? And you know the thing is, this Kede guy, honestly, if it wasn't for this thing, I didn't even know him. I haven't even heard his name before. What has he done in Parliament? What contribution has he made in Parliament? I don't know any. I didn't even know his name. I only knew his name when he was doing something stupid. And you are the one who's there wanting to be praised. Ghanaians, let's wise up. People like this are going to come back to you and tell you, say, vote for them again. When they come out, the power is yours. You decide if you want to put these people back in power, or if you want to show them that you know better. It's up to you. The power is yours. 2020, it's just around the corner. Okay? Let's change the dynamics in Ghana politics. Let's depart from that politics as usual, business as usual thing whereby, yeah, this is my party, so I'm going to vote for the party. Let's look at these people's conduct. People like that Kede MP guy should not be in parliament. Should not be in parliament. And let's make them know what time it is when 2020 comes around. I'm telling you. And then as far as the chamber thing goes to, power Ghanaians, Wakanda. You understand? Power to you. Thank you very much for rising up. Thank you, Ernesto Yaboa, for representing the voices in Ghana to tell them, say, no, sir. You can't do that. We don't want that. And then they arrested him and all of that. Let's look out for Ernesto Yaboa. Let's look out for anybody who rise up in the public interest and do something. Make sure that the politicians don't target him unduly and do something stupid with him or to him. Let's rise up, Ghana. Let's rise up. Let's rise up. Let's rise up. That anger we are feeling is righteous. It's real and it's legitimate. And to you, we don't want it to burst. So act. Mr. President, parliamentarians, chiefs, all the people in power, do the right thing. Because Duncan Williams has said already, a word to the wise is enough. He's told you, so if things are not properly done, one day, one fine day, the righteous anger of the poor will manifest itself in something unsavory. Do we want that? Let's think about that. My name is Kwesi E, son Baako. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll see you next time. One love.
I believe that one of the things that will help the nations of Africa is for us to have national coalitions from all political parties.
Who are thinking about the institutionalizing the national agenda.
Yes, come together, get traditional rulers, religious leaders, labor, business community, the youth, even the army, bring them all together. Let's have and let's come together with a national agenda of what we want in this country. For instance, in Rwanda, it's a law that nobody sleeps in mad houses.
Nobody.
Nobody. You don't build a mad house. You pull it down. It's against the law. Let's have a national agenda as a people that we work on. And let's agree that the next 25 years, there will be no what do you call it? Every 4 years election, no election. 25 years, no election.
This is serious.
Every 5 years.
I like that. I like
every
that
5 years, we should appoint a president.
Appoint
a president from among
the people,
the parties that have formed a national coalition. So these 5 years is your party.
Next 5 years.
Next 5 years is our party.
25 years.
Yes. And
no election.
No election.
No party politics.
No party
no
politics.
rallies.
No rallies. And our agenda is follow, execute, perform the national agenda for the sake of the next generation. What we are doing right now, we are not going anywhere.